Ahoy there, Captain Benzie here, coming at you with a patch notes video for Eve Echoes. And wow, once again, it's been a long time since we last had one of these. We just don't really seem to get interesting patch notes these days other than updated the market and fixed a few minor bugs here and there. Unfortunately, I was hoping that when I saw that we had a decent amount of patch notes, it was going to be something exciting that I could talk about and get really positively enthusiastic for. Unfortunately, look, you guys know me. When it comes to netties, I'm the first to say, well, look, let's actually have a look into this and see what's going on and how this ends up working, and I try to put a positive spin on it. This is not going to be a positive video, I'm afraid. There are some good things in this patch note. Don't get me wrong, there are some interesting things that could add some nice little quality of life changes. Unfortunately, this very much feels like the ball has once again been completely dropped, and so we're going to jump straight in on this, and I'm going to try and explain myself to the best of my ability without getting angry. I'm not here to sort of farm salt. I am genuinely here to discuss an issue and say what is going wrong and look at a positive way of moving forward to try and fix this. So, dear pilots of New Eden, Eve Echoes will undergo maintenance on the 9th of March at 0800 UTC. Will take approximately 122 minutes to complete. During this time, players will be unable to log into the game. I want to say as well, just at this point, something that's been bugging me. Maintenance used to be an hour long, and we used to get 5,000 skill points, and if the maintenance went on longer than that, we would get additional skill points as compensation. Maintenance now seems to be exclusively 120 minutes long, 2 hours every single time, but we still only get the 5,000. I don't really see this as an issue, it just strikes me as a bit weird. But anyway, let's look at the new content, because this is where my blood starts to boil, I'm afraid. New Eden store update. After maintenance on March the 9th, 2022 until March the 30th, 2022. Reopened the Splendid coupon store. This just alone makes my blood boil, because they announced that they were closing it and that you needed to spend your coupons at the time you could. I gave that information from netties to the community on good faith that they were actually doing that. That bye-bye coupon store, because it's a New Year's thing. It's probably not going to come around until next New Year at the absolute earliest. So I advised a load of people to go and spend all of their coupons on just stuff, and I myself went and did the same. I am now super angry about this because I wasted a ton of coupons on stuff that I had no real use for, just because having nearly useless stuff was better than the coupons disappearing and me having nothing to show for it. Now the store comes back and it's got stuff that actually would be useful for me, and I have no coupons left because, yeah, this makes me very angry, and this kind of lack of communication from developers to the community is, at times, it's just irritating, but at times like this, it is outright dangerous, and it now makes me look bad, because I advised people, no, look, netties have said the store is going away, spend your coupons, so I'm going to say, yeah, the store's going away, spend your coupons, just like they're saying. I spread that, I'm part and parcel in that. Now a load of people are going to be angry at me for advising them to spend their coupons. That doesn't make me look great, that makes me feel awful for, basically tricking people out of their coupons, let alone the fact that I myself have lost goodness knows how many coupons it was I spent on ridiculous stuff that I have no use for whatsoever. Coupons, however, can be obtained through the ship rental project and in-store purchases. So congratulations, guys. The ship renting project that's giving out 2,000 coupons at a time. Yeah, that's good again. But congratulations, you're probably going to need like 30 to 60,000, if not 100,000, for anything useful. If last time's to be at all taken, as evidence, if we look at last time and how it was. But we can pay real money for it again. I want to pause again and just say that I get it. I get that people sometimes get angry and they want to vote with their wallet. The thing is, when you talk about voting with your wallet, you are explicitly stating that people with more money than you get more say. So when you sit there and say, oh, I'm not going to pay for anything, and everyone else should stop paying for things as well, we all step back, we stop paying, and netties still need to make their money, so they go after the big fish. We are directly responsible for basically pushing netties to go into these big money events. And this is me sitting here going, look, I'm burnt out on this. I can sit there and explain that this is because they need to make money, and for the previous stuff, it's been okay, but now basically, yeah, we've told you to burn all of your coupons, and now that they're actually useful again, you're just going to have to buy them or basically spam the ship rental project to get them back. We can get new Wavegraph packs, more on those, Auto Salvages, which I've been looking forward to, Battleship Nanocores, Prayer Skin Opt Boxes, and Classified 2 Gravitational Wavegraphs available at a 10% limited time discount. After adjustment, the chance of obtaining Classified 2 Gravitational Wavegraph from Secret Trafficking Container has increased. You know, those other boxes that you very occasionally get for things that require ridiculous amounts of a purchase to actually open them without breaking them. So anyway, yeah, I'm angry that the Splendid coupon store is back, that it's got some useful stuff in it this time around, and I was basically tricked by NetEase into burning all of my coupons, and, worst of all, tricking you guys into doing the same thing. Anyway, Auto Salvage technology available after maintenance on March 9th, 2022. Once again, we have a complete miscommunication. That's not after an update. Update historically, every time NetEase have used it has been like either a balance update or on like the industrial update or the indomitable update or the capital update. It's been the big thing that's got a whole load of new content in it. So when we're looking at a Trello and we see updates in April and May, but nothing in March, we sit there and give out this information and start planning and just find out that no, we've been given the information literally 3 days before it goes live. So any feedback we had for the developers has no chance to do anything. But hey, let's have a look. At the request of Capsuleers, the Concorde and Ore decided to authorize a license for the use of Auto Salvage technology. The Auto Salvager is a mid-slot module, which I've had some problems with, but we'll talk about that in a moment, used to salvage pirate wrecks. It can automatically identify and loot pirate wrecks upon activation within a specific range. You can expand this range and loot more wrecks simultaneously by fitting more than one or more advanced Auto Salvagers. So, we know for a fact here that 7.5 to 15 kilometers referred to the meta level of the modules. They all work at least to 7.5 kilometers, but they go out further than that. The thing is, our standard loot range is 10 kilometers, so I made the assumption that at least you would, if you were using an Auto Salvager, that it would just loot everything in range around you, because that's how it's worded on the description, that it would identify and loot things. We now discover that it is in fact loot one by one. So if you're using any Auto Salvager that is lower than 10 kilometers, you may as well just be looting. Otherwise, you're going to be having to fill your mid-slots with these things, making them pretty much useless. You can activate it, it will use some of your capacitor, it will pick a single wreck in range, and then loot it for you. Then when it cycles again, 10 seconds later, it will then pick a second wreck, loot it again, and so on and so forth. Trouble is, if you've got one of these that only works up to 10 kilometers, then you can loot faster manually. Do you see the issue with that? Okay, yes, the 15-kilometer ones, there's a minor use there, but still, the kind of ships that you're going to fit this on are fairly fast moving. This does nothing. This has basically extended the looting radius by up to 5 kilometers. Or on a ship that has 3 mid-slots, which, could that be an exploration frigate? No, those blasted things still only have 2, so if I want to do this, it needs to be on a destroyer or on a cruiser or larger, which still means the explorer frigates are useless. I would rather go out there with a Hound than with a probe explorer, but hey, I would still need to fill all 3 mid-slots with this. They need to be, all of them need to be the ones that are above 10 kilometers for it to be useful at all. We do get some skills announced here, which is kind of cool. Auto Salvage technology is a new technology used to increase the salvaging range and can only be learned through skill chips, which is also a problem. Auto salvages and skill chips can be traded in the market, so yeah, you can see where this is going, can't you? People who spend money, real world money, on the Splendid coupons can get these gravitational wave graphs, which you then use. How do I get auto salvages? Use classified 2 gravitational wave graphs from the Splendid store to go out and find these in space in an abnormal gravitational fluctuation, then have a chance to obtain Auto Salvage technology chips, basic, advanced, and expert, 3 different types, and Auto Salvages, 3 types. So those are going to be your basic, like Mark 9 or whatever, you know, your 3 different meta levels of these. Basic Auto Salvages can be exchanged in the Splendid coupon store. So basically, Splendid coupons can be used to purchase graphs that are going to help you find these skill chips, and you're going to need to buy the skill chips off the market or buy the graphs off the market if you want to learn these skills, which means if I was actually still interested in salvaging on day one, I can't just go in there and purchase the skill and start training it. No, I've got to wait for some guy to buy it off the market, find it with the gravitational wave off the Splendor store, find it in-game, then put it on the market for 1.5 billion ISK, because that's the kind of ridiculous price that people put these things at every single time. That's what it was with the analyzers, that's what it has been with every single module that gets released like this. Remember what it was like with all the different command bursts? Do you remember what warp scramblers first went for when they started dropping? Because I do, and that's exactly the same situation that we've got going here. So if you want to learn these skills, be prepared to spend a couple of billion or have to wait a few months until the prices come down to something remotely resembling a serious figure of money. Or you yourself can drop real world money to buy Splendid coupons and find a graph and cross your fingers that you get the stuff that you want to get. Who thought this was a good idea? Look, Netties, I love you guys. I have supported you guys for the entire time of this game. Some of the stuff has been questionable, but I can still sit there and see how and why it works. But now you are putting new content behind a paywall and saying, oh, it's okay, because the people who are going to buy into this are possibly just going to sell it on the market and you can get it that way. Like you haven't learned anything from every single event like this you have done in the past. This is horrific. The modules are practically worthless as it is, and then if you want to do anything with them, if you want to actually make them worth it, you're going to have to spend ridiculous amounts of real-world money on the coupon store, or to buy it off the market at ridiculous amounts of ISK. I'm really, really upset by this. I don't know if you can hear it in my tone of voice. I'm assuming you can at this point, because I'm enough of this stuff. I'm enough of this. We then have the road to set sail moving on. After maintenance on March the 9th, in order to help novice capsuleers improve, the Concord has prepared a series of road to set sail missions. Complete the daily list for daily rewards. Complete all lists for 7 days for the final reward. This... So, March on the Trello was the returnee event, and I'm hoping this isn't it. Because just, hey, welcome back to EVE, here's 7 days of missions to get you some rewards. Unless those rewards are absolutely incredible, they're not going to bring people back. There's nothing exciting about that at all, just 7 days of basically login rewards that you have to earn. I don't hate this kind of stuff. Like, I think it's interesting to get people back into a game. Like, the whole Concord Pass thing it's an interesting way to get people to log in daily and actually do something with their time in the game. The downside to this one is if this is the actual returnee event, well, it just feels like, hey, welcome back. Here's the least effort we could do to get you back into the game. There's no sort of like, hey, here's what you missed in the time that you've been away. There's no like, awesome, look at this cool events, look at these, this new content that you can get involved in, and all this kind of stuff here. It's just kind of a, hey, welcome. I've said before that if we want to bring players back into the game, we need something exciting. We need to fix the problems that caused people to leave in the first place, and then we need to entice them back with exciting stuff that makes them go, oh, they've not only fixed the problems that I had, they've not only solved the stuff that pushed me out of the game to begin with, but they've now got more of the stuff that I actually want. And this, I know I can hear people screaming a second I mention this. This is why I hate capitals so much. Because we didn't need capitals. Let's be completely honest. The people who have quit the game were not quitting because, oh, we don't have capitals. They were quitting because industry was broken. They were quitting because interceptors are a just toxic meta. They were quitting because destroyers were useless. They were quitting because of all of these issues. And instead of fixing those issues, NetEase went, here, have some big exciting ships. And half the community went, that's amazing. You're an idiot for not liking this. How dare you tell us that we're wrong for wanting capitals? Then the capitals came out and most people went, they're alright, I guess. And most people don't even fly them. How much of the player base do you honestly reckon is in a capital ship right now? How many people are flying these ships regularly? How many people own these ships? That's an incredibly small number. Then how many people are actually undocking them and using them on the regular? And instead of important fixes to keep players in the game, we got that. That's what we got. Instead of an important balance patch that could have addressed half of these issues, they cancelled the balance patch and pushed it to April. Not just delayed it, they completely cancelled it and just went, we'll sort of everything in the next one. At which point the game is hemorrhaging players left, right and centre. Okay, that's not fair, it's not hemorrhaging players, but people are leaving. People are leaving because they don't feel like their issues are being resolved. And instead of issues being resolved, netties are busy, like, just throwing in meaningless stuff. And it's just, I don't know what to say to this. Like, April has so much riding on it. So much is riding on the April balance patch, because that is what is going to bring people back. When people look at April and go, actually, I can fly destroyers now. They're good. Oh, actually, I'm not going to get wrecked by interceptors. There's a reason for me to fly assault frigates. There's a reason for me to get out into an explorer frigate. There's a reason for me to actually play this game and have fun with it. That's what needs to happen. Like, I don't know how to say it. I hope I've got the point across there here, that's how you entice new players to come back, and you do so with a big bombastic event, not an event that literally fills up 4 lines of patch notes. Something that's like the old Crimson Harvest, something that gets people to work together again, to go out exploring and look for these exciting new sites to jump into, where they can earn stuff together, where they can work as a team to find cool new ship skins, to get these new exciting modules. When the Crimson Harvest launched, we got the Grimace skins and the Halarange skins, which to this day, in my opinion, are still 2 of the best skins available in the game for many, many ships. We also got things like Predator Warp Scramblers, things like the Halley Target Painters, these top tier modules that still aren't in the game. They're still not. Why are they still not in the game? Like 2 years later, that event was the last time that those were dropped in the game. That was October in 2021. 2021? No, it wasn't 2021, sorry, that was October 2020. October 2021, we didn't get a Halloween event. Not a proper one, not a Crimson Harvest. And so we have not seen those mods in a year and a half now. You still can't get Predator Scrams, you still can't get Halley Target Painters or Virus, whatever they're called, like the tracking disruptors and stuff. They just don't exist. That's the kind of event that would bring people back to the game, especially if you were dropping those modules again. And you could even put the Auto Salvagers and the skill chips in that, and that would be something cool for players to rally around and get involved in. But no, hey guys, remember those coupons we told you to get rid of? Yeah, they're back. And if you actually listened to us and got rid of them, don't worry, you can buy more. Please give us your credit card details. Oh, this salvaging that you really want. By the way, it's going to be really hard to get the modules. They're going to be practically useless unless you have these skills. But those skills are also going to be ridiculously hard to get. You're either going to have to spend real-world money in order to roll the dice and hope that they drop in the gravitational wave graph that you buy, and or you go onto the market and pay a ludicrous sum. I'm angry. I'm so angry. Anyway, finally, optimizations. Updated estimated prices based on successful transactions in the market. Of course, it wouldn't be in NetEase patch notes. That's our mark of authenticity. 2. Batch investigation can now be implemented on multiple ancient remains. Granbera, if you're watching this would have been an amazing thing to have when you sold me those, 6,000, 9,000 ancient remains that I opened one by one, watching the animation every time. Okay, ancient remains are still useless. There's no two ways about that. They've done so little with that store that I am just utterly perplexed as to how little they've done with that. The skins in there now are nice, I'm not going to lie. Like, the bull skins and the tiger skins are really cool. Just, there's so much they could have done with this store that just isn't happening. But hey, at least if you're sitting on 6,000 of these, or however many, someone else sold me 3,000 after that I just didn't have the heart to open, I can open them all in one batch now. That's actually kind of cool, and I can then fly out to drop them off. Cool, I'm okay with that. I'd love to see Ancient Remains something happen with them, but even if nothing's happening, at least I can clear them from my inventory. That's cool. There's no 24-hour limit for returning capsuleers to rejoin a corporation for the first time. Cool. So if you quit a corporation in rage, you can turn around and go, actually, look, I've cooled down a bit. Maybe I was in the wrong. Please, can you guys take me back? And yeah, we can say, yes, welcome home. That's cool. I like that. I think 24 hours is a long time to go between corporations. I'm hoping it's not just, oh, if you get kicked out of Cat Skull and then you come back to Cat Skull, it's 24 hours. I'm hoping it does actually allow us to do the whole thing of, like, okay, if we're moving you from one particular corporation and moving you into a different one, like within the same alliance, that could be cool. Like, we have multiple, there's Cat Skull Cartel, Cat Skull Collective, Terminus, EMSD, all these different corporations there that we like to move players between. Having to wait 24 hours to move between them does really suck. And I'm not sure why it's still 24 hours, but it's nice to see at least that they're looking into this. I'm cool, that's happy, cool. Adjusted the Omega reward for Day 7 and Alpha reward for Day 8 in the Pilot Cultivation program. I don't remember what these are. My mind thinks that... part of me thinks of Yamjung at that point. This is like the early day, your first month of Omega and Alpha, your daily login rewards, where you get the really cool things like the cruiser chips and the trainer cruisers and stuff like that. I'm not sure what's moved there. I'm hoping it's a positive move. I really need some positives right now. I'm hoping that's a positive move, especially since it goes into new players. I have just deleted a character in order for me to open up a space and jump in on this, so I'll be able to check as of tomorrow, once that cooldown finishes deleting. I'll be able to check what that actually is, and hopefully that's a good thing. Number 5, optimize the planetary mining. It's easier to extend mining time for multiple planets now. This is something that's been heavily requested. Congratulations, if you have a lot of PI on multiple planets, it looks like it's going to be a lot easier for you to extend the timers on all of them. And that's just a really positive quality of life change. Epic. Awesome. Number 6, adjusted the upgrade feature for Cosmic Anomaly. Invisible players won't be counted for the upgrade. I think this is the whole thing of having players in a system causing bases to level up. And stuff like that, and having players who are just logged in, sat in the middle of space while cloaked, isn't going to affect that anymore. I think that's what I'm reading into here. Let me know if you've got a different opinion. Number 7, optimize the destroy feature. This is really cool, I like this one. When destroying a ship, only the ship and its rigs will be destroyed, while its cargo, modules, and drones, basically anything that could have been removed from it, will be moved to the station hangar. That's a really cool change. I have accidentally destroyed lower tier ships that had some high tier fittings on them, and this would be a great way of allowing me to clean that up whilst still getting those modules back. Basically anything that I could have taken off the ship, automatically the game goes, oops, sorry king, you forgot these, and gives them to you, and that's cool, I like that. Number 8, adjusted the repackage feature. Ships and nanocores can't be repackaged if multiple items are selected at a time. Also, very good. I have genuinely repackaged certain ships. Again, we're talking about ones that aren't really heavy on rigs here because you do get a warning for that. But I have accidentally repackaged ships and nanocores whilst trying to like repackage other stuff to stack it in my hangar. So yeah, positive change. I like it. Number 9, optimized the failed login prompt. This is when you log in, it should now actually tell you what the issue is. And again, that's cool. So we've got a series there of 9 optimizations that are actually good quality of life changes. We've got some interesting stuff in the middle that could be really cool if they hadn't made it an absolute dumpster fire in the first place. I am angry. I am ice cold angry about the Splendid coupon store issue. The fact that basically we were told, get rid of all of your stuff. They told us that, and now they bring the store back. That makes me very angry. I hope that makes you angry. I hope we can all go to the suggestions in the Eve Echoes official Discord, and politely. I don't want to see people swearing. I don't want to hear people throwing insults and stuff like that. I haven't thrown an insult, I haven't thrown a swear word at the developers over this issue, and it negatively affected me in many ways. It's not just that I burnt stuff that I could have used, it's I burnt stuff that I could have used, and I, a prominent public figure, told people to do the same. That means I lose face. I didn't just lose my coupons, I lost face as well. I'm very angry, so I'm going to be having a polite word with the developers and saying, look, what's going on here? This is what's happened, this is how it's got to this point. I think this whole putting the Auto Salvagers behind the coupon store is literally the worst way that they could have done it, because you are essentially putting it either behind a paywall or putting the modules into the hands of, and therefore setting the ISK value prices of, people who are hiding it, who are taking it from behind a paywall. Either you get it by paying and paying for coupons and getting the graphs, rolling the dice, finding the items and selling on the market for ridiculous ISK, or you buy it for ridiculous ISK. those are your options. Ridiculous ISK or pay with real money. And that is so disappointing that here we are going towards 2 years of this game being launched. It's over 2 years that this game has been publicly available. Open beta was December 2019 and that started. So we are over 2 years of this game being publicly available, and it just feels like the developers come up with a cool idea, and in their... I know these guys. I know these guys, and as much as I'm upset and angry by this, I know their heart's in the right place. I know they're passionate about these things. Ultimately, they haven't learned in 2 years that some of these issues keep cropping up like this. I despair a bit, you know? I love this game, I love this community, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, but please, for the love of all that is good and holy, can we get some basic fixes and stop with this stuff? Just run this stuff past the community. I think every content creator is going to be saying the same thing about this. I think the official Eve Echoes Discord is going to be saying the same thing about this. It's going to be the same topic everywhere, and this could have been so easily avoided if only NetEase had just said, hey guys, this is what we're thinking of doing. But no, like the Auto Salvager, I found out about that the second it was announced in Discord. The content creators, the team that could be drumming up support for these guys, we don't get any heads up, we don't get any involvement, we just kind of get thrown to the wolves when this happens. So, there we are, sad, upset Captain Benzie here. Hopefully I've not put you on quite as much of a downer as this has put me on. I think there's possibilities that this could all still be fixed. I just think it's the most uninspired thing ever, and I genuinely feel cheated. For the first time since I have played this game, I feel cheated. On that wonderful note, folks, happy sailing, and see you in New Eden.